In 2010, one man was making so much money betting on basketball that Las Vegas sportsbooks started banning him. Not because he cheated, but because he was too precise. He built an algorithm so powerful it could predict NBA games better than the people setting the odds, and when it worked, he made millions of dollars every week. At his peak, he was risking $1 million a night and winning nearly 70% of the time. No professional bettor in history has ever sustained that. Vegas tried to shut him out. They failed. His name is Haralabos Voulgaris. To the betting world, he's known simply as Bob, the man who broke basketball. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how he did it and where that same brain is now quietly trying to do it all over again in European soccer. So stick around, because the way this story ends is stranger than how it starts. To understand how he did it, we need to go back to where it started, before the models, before the algorithms, back to the moment he decided that the game that destroyed his family would become the thing that set him free. And if you're into stories about people who outthink entire industries, subscribe, because this channel is full of them. Now let's go back to the beginning. It's spring 2000, Winnipeg, Canada. A grey day, wind pushing against the glass storefronts of a small strip mall. Inside, a 25-year-old baggage handler steps up to a betting counter. This is Haralabos Voulgaris. He's carrying an envelope with his entire life savings, $80,000. He isn't here for fun. He isn't chasing a thrill. He's chasing freedom. His father had spent decades chasing bets and losing everything: the house, the business, the cars. Every time gone, the bookies never cared. For Bob, that was the lesson. The world doesn't forgive emotion. He promised himself he'd never gamble like his father. He'd use the same game, but play it with logic. And today, he's ready to prove it. His bet is simple: the Los Angeles Lakers to win the NBA championship. The odds are long, 6.5 to 1. Most people think the Lakers are done. Too many egos, too many failed seasons. But Bob sees something different. He's been watching every game. He knows the roster. He knows the new coach, Phil Jackson, the man who built the Bulls dynasty. And he knows that no bookmaker has adjusted for that. He walks to the counter and places the bet, $80,000, everything he owns. And then he waits. The regular season ends. The Lakers start winning. They destroy teams that were supposed to be better. They reach the finals and dominate. And when the confetti falls that June, the Los Angeles Lakers are champions of the world, and Bob's account jumps to $600,000. He doesn't smile. He doesn't celebrate. He just nods once, because he knows it isn't luck. It's confirmation, proof that the sports books can be beaten. Quick question before we go further. If you had to bet your entire life savings on one call, would you trust data over instinct? Drop your answer in the comments below. I genuinely want to see where people land on this. That night, he goes home and writes down a new plan. He's found the first crack in a system built on arrogance. He's about to push it open. By the start of next season, betting is no longer a side job. It's his career. He studies box scores, substitution patterns, travel schedules. He tracks which coaches overreact, which stay calm, which players foul early, which ones never do. Every decision recorded, every mistake catalogued. He builds his philosophy: find the inefficiency, exploit it, and stay silent. No excitement, no noise, just data. But the more he wins, the more attention he draws, and soon the bookmakers will start to notice. They'll change their numbers, they'll start adapting, and when they do, the war between him and them will truly begin. By 2001, betting is Bob's full-time job. No office, no boss, just him, a television, and a laptop covered in notes. He watches every game, hundreds each season, 2 screens, one for stats, one for film. He times substitutions, counts possessions, tracks fouls. He starts to see a pattern the bookmakers ignore. The scoring in the second half of the games doesn't match the first. Teams foul more. Coaches rest starters early, then bring them back fresh for the fourth quarter. Free throws slow the game down but add points. The totals that sportsbooks post are split evenly between halves as if basketball were symmetrical. It isn't. Bob starts betting second half overs, then third quarter unders, sometimes individual team totals. Each position calculated by the difference between the real rhythm of the game and the fake balance in the line. He keeps profiles on coaches who pull players with early fouls who refuse to adjust. He can predict their habits with more accuracy than they can predict themselves. He watches games muted, using a metronome to stay calm. No emotion, no noise, only focus. The money grows, he makes millions. To him, this is not gambling, it's exploiting inefficiency. He's not playing against the game, he's playing against the people pricing it. But by 2003, something shifts. The NBA starts releasing detailed play-by-play data to the public. For the first time, sportsbooks have access to everything he once tracked by hand. They build teams of analysts. They start moving lines before he can act. His edge shrinks. He keeps betting, trying to adjust, but the numbers don't move like before. He loses more than he wins. Then one month he loses a third of his bankroll. He doesn't blame variance, and he knows what happened. When the market evolved, his advantage is gone. Here's the thing. Most people never do, when they're this deep into something, walk away the moment it stops working. Bob doesn't chase. He stops completely. No bets, no action. He decides to take the entire 2004 to 2005 season off. No one in his world does that, but he knows it's the only move. If you've ever had to walk away from something that used to work for you, hit like on this video, because Bob's decision to stop is about to pay off in a way absolutely nobody saw coming. He thinks about working inside the league. He tells teams he can build a better roster than their general managers. They ignore him. One coach tells him, data doesn't matter. Bob asks, who knows you better, your wife or your Google search history? The coach laughs. The conversation ends, so he returns to what he knows, building systems. He realizes instinct isn't enough anymore. If he wants to stay ahead, he'll need something stronger than observation. He'll need a machine that sees everything. By the end of 2004, he's ready to start over. He's not looking for gamblers anymore. He's looking for engineers. And soon he'll find one, a young math prodigy. Perfect score on the SAT math section. Quiet, logical, obsessive. He doesn't even like basketball. And that's exactly why Bob trusts him. He has no bias, no emotion, only precision. Bob calls him the Whiz. Together they begin work on something that doesn't exist yet, a predictive model that can simulate entire basketball games possession by possession. They call it E-Wig, an inside joke referencing an old Knicks theory that teams play better when their star is out. But the goal is serious, to build the most advanced betting model in the world. They start with a database, every play from every game for years. Fouls, turnovers, field goals, substitutions, travel schedules, rest delays, altitude effects, even referee tendencies. The whiz codes. Bob watches film, hundreds of games per season. He knows the patterns the model can't see yet. Late game coaching behavior, lineup adjustments, momentum shifts that aren't in the box score. Every night he writes new variables for the whiz to test. They build the first version. It doesn't work. The projections are off. Totals too high, spreads too narrow. They adjust weighting, rebuild data sets, and test again. Still wrong. For 2 years, it's the same cycle. Test, fail, rebuild. Every fix creates new errors, but Bob doesn't stop. He's spending money every month keeping the project alive. His bankroll is shrinking, but he sees progress, small improvements that others wouldn't notice. By 2006, eWig version 1 is live. They start betting small. Hundreds of simulations run overnight. Each model output predicts not the final score, but the distribution of events that lead to it. They run thousands of tests across all teams, all matchups. The profit is there, small, inconsistent, but real. Over the next 2 seasons, they rebuild everything. The database grows. The model's split into smaller feeder systems, one for pace, one for fatigue, one for referees, one for travel. Each subsystem feeds data back into the main algorithm, improving its accuracy over time. By 2008, eWig 2.0 is ready. It's rebuilt from scratch, no shortcuts, no guesswork. It's a complete analytical engine capable of processing every NBA game, every night. The model doesn't just predict who will win, it predicts how they'll win when they'll score, and how game flow will shift as fatigue and fouls build up. The whiz runs the simulations. Bob verifies the outputs. The results finally align with what he sees on film, and when they start testing it live, the numbers don't lie. Small bets first, they win. Then larger, the accuracy holds. We're at the halfway point of this story, and this is exactly where it flips from guy who's good at betting into something a lot bigger. If you want to see exactly how far this went, don't scroll away yet. The next part is the wildest. By the end of 2008, Bob knows it's ready for full deployment. eWig 2.0 will be the backbone of everything that comes next. For the first time since 2003, he feels the same quiet certainty he had the night he bet on the Lakers. The difference is that now his weapon isn't intuition, it's code. He's not betting against bookmakers anymore, he's betting against the limits of information. And he's about to find out how far they can stretch. It's early 2009, the new NBA season is underway and Bob is back. This time he's not watching from instinct, he's watching from a screen full of data. The model eWig 2.0 is finally running live. Every night before the games start, the model runs thousands of simulations. Each one predicts every possession, every substitution, every point. It doesn't just predict outcomes, it explains them. For the first time, Bob can see probability, not guess it. He starts small, a few bets. The results are perfect. Every margin the model predicts lands where it should. Then he scales up. By mid-season, Bob is betting hundreds of thousands of dollars per night, sometimes across multiple games, sometimes on totals, sometimes on spreads, sometimes on team-specific props. The model identifies as weak. It's not gambling anymore, it's execution. The model hits again and again. The data doesn't lie. By the All-Star break, he's staking nearly $1 million per day. The win rate hovers near 70%, numbers no professional bettor has ever sustained. Sportsbooks begin to notice. They can't understand how he's doing it. The bets look random from the outside. Different teams, different markets, different amounts. But the pattern is in the model, invisible to anyone else. The profits become impossible to ignore. Some bookmakers start cutting his limits, others close his accounts entirely. He opens new ones under different names. He uses friends, employees, even public figures to place bets for him. He calls them beards. The operation spreads across multiple states and countries. One of those placing his bets is Floyd Mayweather, a perfect disguise. In the sportsbooks, it looks like a celebrity gambling for fun. In reality, it's Bob's data feeding the numbers. The more they restrict him, the smarter he gets. He builds networks, splits action, hides origin points. Every bet still comes from the same brain, the same model, and the money keeps coming. But there's a problem. Every time he wins, the bookmakers learn. They track what he's hitting. They start adjusting their own lines faster. The more he teaches them, the harder it becomes to stay invisible. By 2010, it's a war of adaptation. Bob's algorithm outpaces their adjustments. They respond by banning accounts instead of moving lines. He rotates constantly, staying one step ahead. He's no longer fighting against luck or variance. He's fighting against the infrastructure of the betting industry itself. But for now, he's untouchable. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't really a gambling story. It's a story about what happens when someone builds an edge so sharp the entire system has to change around them. Tell me in the comments, where else have you seen this exact pattern play out? Finance, poker, even video games. His life changes completely. Private jets, a Hollywood Hills house, connections with athletes, celebrities and analysts. He becomes a quiet legend in the world of sports betting. Podcasts and journalists start calling him the man who beat basketball. He appears on interviews, talks analytics with journalists like Bill Simmons, but never gives away too much. He's always calm, detached, and measured. Everything about him says one thing: control. But the higher he climbs, the smaller the game feels. The millions don't matter anymore. He's proven his point. He's beaten the system that broke his father. Now he wants something bigger. Not to play the game, but to change it. By 2011, the restrictions are suffocating. Sportsbooks ban him faster than he can open new accounts. And he knows the next step isn't another model or a new angle. It's to move inside the game itself. He's about to do something no professional bettor has ever done. Cross from the outside of the league to the inside. And by 2012, Bob's reputation has crossed over from betting forums to front offices. Everyone in basketball knows who he is. The man who could predict outcomes better than Vegas itself. The man who built an algorithm that no team could replicate. He starts getting calls not from gamblers from the NBA world. Executives, analysts, even team owners want to understand how he did it. Bob begins consulting privately, selling insights on player rotations, lineup efficiency, and late-game strategy. The data he built to beat the house now helps teams win games. For years, he stays in the background, quiet, observing, watching how slowly teams move, how stubborn the culture still is. Most coaches trust instinct over data. To Bob, that looks like an opportunity. In 2018, he gets an offer that changes everything. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, hires him as the Director of Quantitative Research and Development. It's the first job he's ever had inside the league. The same man who once bet against the NBA is now part of it. He's brought in to modernize the Mavericks' analytics. His work focuses on player usage, optimal rotations, and in-game decision-making. He builds models to predict how fatigue and matchups affect performance. For the first time, the same logic that destroyed sportsbooks is shaping actual basketball decisions. Inside the organization, not everyone accepts him. To some, he's still a gambler, an outsider with numbers and theories. Coaches, especially head coach Rick Carlisle, keep their distance. Bob doesn't push. He stays focused on what he was hired to do: make the team smarter. His data influences scouting reports, draft strategies, and player evaluations. He isn't guessing. He's quantifying what others overlook. Possessions wasted, rotations mismanaged, lineups that don't work together. The numbers don't lie, but they make people uncomfortable. Over time, tension grows inside the team. Carlisle wants control of coaching decisions. Bob wants data to drive them. Both sides think they're right. The friction becomes public after several seasons. In 2021, Bob leaves the Mavericks without any press conference or explanation, just a short post on social media confirming his exit. He doesn't defend himself. He doesn't argue. He's done with convincing people. For Bob, the job was never about status. It was about bringing logic into a game that still resisted it. And he had done that. He proved that what started as betting math could change how a professional team makes decisions. But once again, the pattern repeats. He enters a system, masters it, then outgrows it. He beat the bookies. He beat the market. Now he's beaten the league's resistance to data. The next move will take him even further, not behind the scenes but in control, not as a bettor, not as an analyst, as an owner. It's 2022. After 2 decades of beating markets, Bob is done playing other people's games. He wants his own. That summer, he buys CD Castellón, a third-division soccer club in Spain, a modest team with a long history and little money. Most people see a risky investment. Bob sees a system waiting to be rebuilt. From day one, he applies the same process he used in basketball. Every decision measured, every variable tracked. He installs data-driven scouting, models player workloads, and builds a recruitment strategy based on value, not reputation. It's not about buying stars, it's about building efficiency. He wants promotion. He says his models give the club a 53% chance of winning the league. Reporters laugh at the precision, but a year later, Castellón wins its division. Inside the club, Bob oversees everything: staffing, analytics, tactics, and long-term structure. He studies clubs like Brentford and Brighton, who turned data into sustainable success. He wants Castellón to follow the same path. No shortcuts, no guesswork. To fans, it looks like a miracle. To him, it's math. The same logic that won millions is now building a future. He rarely gives interviews. When he does, he sounds the same as he did 20 years earlier: calm, factual, direct. He talks about probabilities, not dreams. He says success isn't about predicting results. It's about managing risk better than anyone else. From a small betting shop in Winnipeg to owning a professional football club in Europe, the path doesn't make sense to most people. But to Bob, it's perfect symmetry. He started as the outsider who broke the system. Now he's the one running it. Now, Haralabos Voulgaris is still the owner of CD Castellón. The club plays in the Segunda Division, the second tier of Spanish football. Their goal is clear: reach La Liga for the first time in more than 30 years. Every part of the club runs on data. Training sessions, player recruitment, even tactics on match day. Everything measured, everything optimized. And as Castellón fights for promotion to the top flight, one question remains. If one man could build all this alone, what happens when the rest of the world starts thinking like him? If this story hooked you, subscribe, because I break down stories exactly like this every week. People who found an edge nobody else could see and pushed it as far as it would possibly go. And before you would go, let me know in the comments, should Bob's next move be buying into another sport entirely